We begin the scene in the morning. Vortham University Dormitorium. We begin the scene with Josh Rain staring mostly out into the darkness. The rays of sunlight are slowly creeping through, slowly illuminating the place. Josh Rain simply watching and waiting. Dylan is quickly coming up, quickly making the room a lot more hospitable. At once it was just shades. All shades. Shades of past memory. Shades of certain inhabitants. Shades of devils. Shades of scourges. Just memories. There's coffee. There's wine. There's smoking. Somebody with the inner light, whatever that is meant to be. Just all shades, all walking around Josh as they go throughout their little emotions and their little lives. And then Josh sort of perks himself out. The light slowly coming in, slowly drowning out the shades, slowly drowning out the memories, as the dawn's light starts streaming through this dormitory and starts streaming into the eyes of the Hell Kitty within the other room, within her proper bunk room. Joss is simply sitting on the couch, staring into the darkness that is quickly turning into light.
As the light is hitting the bedroom of the dormitory where Lily is laying, she slowly wakes up. She's been out for a long while after everything that had happened the past few days. Her body just shut down actually in the middle of a training session, and she can't really remember how she got home. She vaguely remembers something of a car. Maybe was it Clark or... Well, she remembers that she had to crawl up the stairs of the dormitory. But that's about it. Other than that, there's just darkness and nightmares, and she wakes up feeling rather confused, but her eyes just pop open as she remembers why she felt so confused. Regina. She's just looking beside her immediately. She finds out that she's alone, which is weird, because she was there, right? She didn't know it.
At
She
one point
doesn't
she was
know for
there.
sure.
At one point she was there over the course of the night.
Exactly. She remembered that she was holding her hand, but the thoughts seemed to slip from Lily's mind. The nightmares that had been haunting her that night seemed to have lost their grasp, and she can't really focus on them anymore. But she knows for a fact that Regina must be somewhere, but she's not next to her. She's not in that bed. She's not to be seen in the bedroom. So Lily just jumps up, realizes that she's actually still fully dressed, even still wears her slippers. She jumps out of the bed, actually bursts into the living room to see if Regina is there. So the door just opens and you see Lily. Josh can see Lily just jumping in. It's like, Regina! And then she looks at Josh.
Morning.
What? Josh! Wow, You're here!
Yeah? Where did you expect I to be?
I don't know. Home? Shadow Worlds?
Just goes ahead and takes a cigarette from his pack, goes ahead and lights it, goes to one of the windows and just props it open. He starts to smoke into the open window.
Mm. Lily is just standing there in the opening of the bedroom, and she doesn't know. She wants to go to Josh, hug him. She's so happy that she actually sees him standing there, and part of her just knows that everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be alright because he's here now. On the other hand, there is Regina, who she doesn't seem to find. It's her. And then she still has to explain what Regina is to Josh. And she doesn't quite know how to start at this point. So she hesitates for a while. And then walks up to Josh. Goes to stand next to him and just breathes in the morning air. She sighs. Why are you here?
Because you had a dream about me. Because you called out. Simple as that.
I did. I'm sorry.
No, it's quite alright. I got to see. You weren't fine. No immediate danger, and you didn't distract me too much from what I was doing.
How long have you been here?
6 hours.
Okay. This might be sounding weird, and I'm gonna explain this, but have you seen another woman here? She goes by the name of Regina. I think she was sleeping in my bed as well, but I can't seem to find her. She's not there anymore. Have you seen her?
I've seen her.
Where is she?
I saw her. I'm not seeing her right now, nor have I seen her in about 6 hours.
Shit. Okay, we need to go look for her. Josh, I don't know how to say this easy, but she's locked. She just burst that out.
Josh will go ahead and take another puff of his cigarette. Exhale. Walk over to Lily. Hug her. Simply say, that's... no. No? No, that's not really possible, is it?
I couldn't believe it at first. But it is her. She doesn't have any memories, Josh. There's nothing. But it's definitely her. I know it's her.
Okay. So, it's her.
Yes, there's just no other explanation. Yesterday, I felt this breeze going through the Bronx. I didn't know, but it felt familiar. I followed it. And she was there. The Bronx Zoo. Tiger's Den. She was just sitting there. So I talked to her. And she wears the pendants. She has the eyes. she just felt so familiar, and so I decided to just take a chance, because at that point I was like 80% certain. So I asked her name, and she said that it didn't felt right. She gave me her passport, but the name didn't feel right, so that made it 85%. So I just whispered her name, and she reacted to that so violently. That was 95%. So I gave her mine. Same reaction. And don't mention the name of Locke, because they'll also set off reactions like fuck, and she was wounded. Josh, something happened to her, something bad. I don't know what to do at this point. I really don't know what to do at this point.
Alright. Bring her to me.
Well, I would if I could find her.
Lily, you have the closest connection with... You have the closest connection with her than any of us. I'm sure that you could find her.
Well, I can ask if my cats have seen her leave. Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just open the other bedroom and check if she's there? Don't touch anything, because I'm not quite sure what Pam left behind. But just check it.
Josh will go ahead and take his still lit and burning cigarette, go over to the other bedroom door and simply push it open. See if anybody is inhabiting such a space.
There is. Sitting in the window bay, just kind of looking out the window at the rising sun, is the young woman, Regina. A mug sitting at her feet with a string attached to it, steaming. Well, actually, no longer steaming. But
Josh will simply go ahead and yell back at him, 2 coffees, please. Go over to Regine, and I presume she's sitting at the windowsill, or sitting, or standing.
she's sitting.
Okay.
Her head's kind of rested against the glass.
Alright. Josh will go ahead and take his own seat against the glass and actually, well, go ahead and try to prop up the window just so that his cigarette smoke isn't blowing in anybody's faces, and just sort of look eye to eye with this new individual.
She's not really looking at Josh. Her eyes are just kind of set on the horizon to the east, watching the sunrise, and Josh will very easily be able to catch the golden hue of her irises.
So, hi. I'm Josh. I don't know if you've ever heard of me or if your friend over there has ever mentioned me, but I'm one of Lily's friends.
Reggie just kind of nods.
Are you, who are you, I should say?
She'll take a moment and just shrug her shoulders slightly.
Do you not know? Did we not figure this out?
Passport, said Regina.
Alright. If you don't mind, I'll just call you Regina. Or Reggie for short.
That's fine.
How long have you been in the city?
I walked out of the airport yesterday morning.
Okay. Have we visited any other places?
There was the zoo. There was the mansion. There was the dojo. And we came home.
You, this is home to you?
It feels like home.
It is. It is a place. Safe place. A place you can feel safe, at least. I don't often come here, mostly just to check on Lily. What are you drinking?
Tea.
Of course. Of course you're drinking tea. Never coffee. You don't even smoke, which is weird. That light, he says, pointing out at the rising dawn. What does that light mean to you?
Means that I'm looking to the east. Means that morning's here.
It does. It does. For me, it's the end to a very, very long night. I've spent several hours just waiting here simply because I thought something was wrong. Is something wrong?
She thinks about it and just kind of closes her eyes. I don't know.
Nothing causing. Nothing's discomfortable, is it?
My sides still hurt.
How did you hurt yourself?
I woke up and it was hurting.
Woke up today or woke up some time ago?
A while ago.
Alright. Fair enough. Do you do any volunteer work? Does volunteer work seem like something you would have done before? Specifically, a woman's shelter.
I don't remember.
Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Why do you trust Lily? Let's start with that. Why were you able to give yourself to her for the day when you never knew anybody, when you were just a stranger in a strange land? What about Lily ticked you off that she was somebody to be trusted?
She felt like home.
I guess I don't feel like home.
Her eyes at that point will actually turn to Josh for a moment and look at him. And then turn back to the horizon, and her feet will actually tuck in a bit closer to herself as she scoots back a few inches.
Natural reaction. That's fine. You and I never really saw eye to eye when it came to instincts. We had the same kind of motivations, same kind of goals, it's just we came from different places. Do you know where you come from? Has anybody ever explained this to you?
Marcus and Lily told me things.
Were they things that made sense to you?
They seemed true, but they didn't make any sense.
Nothing will really make sense to you, and I can't promise that it will make sense to you any sooner than it will make sense. These are just things that'll have to come to be. And I'm very, very sorry that you are in a situation where you don't remember exactly everything you need to remember, but as long as you're with Lily, things will generally be okay. Things will start coming back to you.
I don't know if I want them to.
And that's fine.
Sometimes I can think back. I can think back to right before I woke up. And it was scary. And it hurt. And I don't
Yes.
want to remember him. She winces at that.
Don't worry about remembering him. Don't worry about remembering everything that's too hard to remember. But if there's something that does come back, view it in this light. Leave the bad, take the good. Something's coming back to you, something that feels like home, something that's very, very comfortable, let that in. Something feels bad, something feels like you really don't want to go into it, just shut it out. That is something that you taught me actually a long, long time ago. And I'm sorry you don't remember it. You told me very, very simply. It was an epiphany. It made absolutely all the amount of sense in the world. And you left me with this feeling of hope, this feeling of happiness, this idea that there was actually hope for the future, even against the most impossible odds. You told me to just enjoy little things, small things, life.
As
Find some-
Josh continues on speaking about all the things that passed, her face kind of flinches and twitches more and more, and she closes her eyes, and she starts to grimace, and as he gets to the word hope, her hand comes up and she just starts pounding on the window and just shouting, "No, no, 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 no."
Storming
just
in,
simply get a letter.
storming into the room. Lily is just gonna run towards Regina. She just looks at Josh, her eyes narrowing. What are you doing? She just tries to calm Regina down.
And Reggie's just punching over and over again until finally the glass kind of spiderwebs, and she hits it a few more times before kind of pulling her hand away and holding it as it's a little bit cut on the knuckles at this point. And she stands up and kind of shimmies off of the bay window. "I'm not this person. I'm not the person you keep saying I am. That person's dead. I saw their body."
Josh?
We're working through some things. I hit a sore topic. I'm sorry.
I told you already. Don't mention. Come on, why don't we all go to the common room?
Okay, that's fine. Regine, if you want to.
She just sighs and walks to the couch, kind of looking at her knuckles over and over and over again, flexing them, looking at the broken flesh.
Lily, can you help
On
out
my
with that?
way. On my way. And Lily proceeds back to the kitchen, and within 30 seconds she actually returns with 2 cups of coffee and a first aid kit. She's just gonna actually the 2 cups she's not really throwing them on the table per se, but she's definitely placing them hard enough for the coffee to just gulp over. She just glances at Josh, and you can see that she's definitely not happy about what he did. And she's then gonna kneel in front of Regina and opens the first aid kit, starts to bandage up the hand.
Josh will go ahead and just silently sit opposite to the scene, just wait for them to make the first move.
I don't want to remember her as a person.
Well, I'm not sure if you cannot.
Her decision.
I agree, but things happen. You know?
I can't see her face and not see his too.
Look, I understand, Lily says as she finishes up wrapping the hand in bandages, and she's just gonna stand up, start pacing through the room again. I understand, and if it was me, I would also say you don't have to. I agree with that. If you don't want to, it's your life, it's your decisions. So I'm not quite sure if you can completely avoid it. You said yourself that you wanted me to talk to you as an adult, not as a child, not as my cup. So I'm just putting it out there. And with that, Lily is stopping pacing and walks towards the window and stares outside.
You know what we need to do sometime? We need to actually go to Yankee Stadium. We don't do that ever. We live in New York City with this fantastic stadium that's well known throughout the entire world, and we never actually go ahead and get to enjoy it. Just watch the Yankees as they play. It's baseball. Why not?
Reggie kind of frowns, thinks about it. Leans over and kind of rubs the side of her head before kind of rolling the sock down about 3 inches down just below her ankle. And she looks at a small bit of red down there. And it's a tattoo of 2 red socks on her ankle.
Or maybe we could go see a Red Sox game.
That might be better.
Okay. We'll go ahead and make plans. They got a game coming up Friday. Home game. Would you like that?
All the way out to Boston?
I can make arrangements. We can have a little holiday. The city can do without our presence for a few days.
As you actually mention holiday, you can see that Lily's hands, which have been lying on the lower side of the window, that they clench into fists. As she's standing with her back towards you, you won't actually be able to see much else.
So, Red Sox. I have to admit, I'm not familiar with their lineup. How's their pitcher doing?
I don't know.
Well, if you give me a second, I can go ahead and try to get some of my old baseball cards. I swear I won't be more than 5 minutes.
Reggie kind of stands up. She kind of breathes a little bit heavy. I'm really hungry, she says as she kind of rubs the back of her head and just kind of wanders into the kitchen.
Josh will just look to Lily and look to the kitchen and say, make some eggs. Toast. I'll be back. With that, Josh is going to leave very, very mundanely through the front door and disappear from the scene for a little bit.
Well, Lily is just standing in the at the window in the common room. She's still staring outside. She's not making much attempt to do much at this point.
In a few moments, she'll hear Reggie come back out and plop down into the big plush chair by the window. Her arms holding a container of turkey, a container of ham, and a jar of pickles. Her arm just full of food, and she's literally just kind of going to town on it.
Lily just looks at Reggie and she sighs. She says, well, I hope you enjoy. I'm sorry, don't have a lot in my kitchen. Just happy you could find something.
Lily,
Yeah.
why does everybody keep talking about her?
Because she helped a lot of us. And everybody was very fond of her and of you. And they hope to see her in you.
Why can't I just be whoever I am? Why can't I just be Reggie?
You have... Well, she had, like I said, left... Well, she left a lot here. A lot of people were very, very fond of her, and if you want to, you can just say that you're new here. Especially if you don't mention that name that I gave you, the first name that I gave you, nor the second one. Just mention that. No, if you don't mention that to anyone, you can always say that you're just a new person. And I think if you just make it clear to everybody that you don't want to be remembered by that name and that face, you don't want to know anything about her, I think they will have respect for that.
I don't know what I want to be somebody.
I think that's what most of them are trying to help you with. But they, and maybe even me, are trying to help you to become her again, I guess. I understand that's not fair, but it's the one part of you that we know. That they know.
Hmm. I don't want to be her. I don't want to be. I don't know what I.
You don't remember anything about Regina anymore?
The passport, it has my name, it has an address. But they don't mean anything to me. It has my face. It says that I've been to Greece, and it says that I've been to Israel. It says that I've been to China and India. It says that I've been to Brazil and Argentina.
So it says that you were a traveler. Well, I think there are two ways to help you with this. We could try and see if we can find out more about her, about Regina. Or if you want to, I could try and help you let you know more about. And she just stops as she hears as she feels the cold breeze that she recognizes now as Josh's. I could try and tell you more about that name I gave you the first time, but I'm not gonna do that now.
There's a knock at the door.
Come in.
All right. Just returns to the scene carrying actually two shoe boxes full of these interesting cards. He goes ahead and takes the shoe boxes, guns from the front entrance back to the coffee table, flips open the shoebox lid of both of them, and just starts walking his fingers through them until he gets to a certain set of cards. Here you go. He goes ahead and pulls from the very, very large set a few baseball cards, mostly detailing hitting stats of one of their best hitters, and actually somebody named. Actually, this is from the Astros. Never mind that one. He goes ahead and starts setting aside the Red Sox playing cards from the other playing cards he currently has, from the Astros, from the Yankees, from the Mets, which is an entirely different league. It seems like he's had not a lot of time to actually organize this, but definitely a lot of time to actually go ahead and collect these.
Reggie will actually kind of stand up and walk over to the coffee table and look down at some of the cards. She notices the Derek Jeter card and almost immediately just scoffs at it, almost out of reaction. And she reaches down and picks out two cards from the lineup from a very good year for the Red Sox. Johnny Damon, Kurt Schilling.
Right, right. You like the card?
I just remember them.
Well, that's good. That's definitely something good. That's a good memory that you can hold. Would you like the box? I can give you the box. I've had all these for many, many years, but I'm more than willing to give them up.
Um, she just holds up the the two cards and just kind of holds them close to her.
Fair enough. Joss will go ahead and collect the cards that are on the table, leaving the two that Reggie has close to her chest, and simply boxes up the cards and puts them underneath the coffee table for later review. So, Reggie, these cards. I will have to admit ignorance about the Red Sox, but what about these names really does it for you?
She kind of frowns a few times and thinks about it. And it's all really fleeting, all very hard for her to bring together. And she just kind of mouths a few numbers. 2004.
2004. Josh will actually go ahead and flip his smartphone up and do a quick Google search about that. Hmm. He doesn't really get anything. He's not particularly well versed in the Red Sox, so the year doesn't really mean anything to him at the moment. 2004 Red Sox. I don't believe they went to the finals or the World Championship.
She
Although I can't
looks
say
like that kind of makes her snap to attention as she kind of remembers that night a little bit. She just remembers the feelings about it. Game 4. Red Sox beat the Cardinals.
Game 4, they win against Cardinals. I believe that was a series victory. No loss.
They swept them. It was a blue moon and a solar eclipse.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It was... I just remember being really happy.
Well, I'm glad. I'm very, very glad about that. Because that's something even I didn't know or remember. Reggie, do we have any plans? Or are we still trying to figure things out at the moment?
I don't know if I have family or not.
If you want to, I can look into it. See what's left there.
I think it would be safer to find out who Reggie is.
Prudent enough. Prudent enough. We'll go ahead and find out who Reggie is. And then everything else will follow out of that. How about that?
I also want to know more about Zuriel.
With that, Josh just sort of perks up for a moment. Simply because this is the first time he's ever hearing that name.
As Reggie mentioned, Zuriel, you can just see Lily's back as she's still standing at the window, just stiffening for a moment.
Alright. We'll figure out who Reggie is first. Then we'll figure out who Zuriel is. Then we'll make...
She kind of does a quick little a dance like getting the heebie-jeebies or like a shiver up her spine when Josh actually says the word Zuriel. Almost like she doesn't quite, she still can't ever expect the feeling of when that name is said, the tingle that goes up the back of her neck.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know your name. Okay. I've only ever given this name to one person before. And that person is currently in the room. Please, 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 please promise me right now that if I give you this name, you won't give it out to anybody else. And if you keep that promise, I will make every effort to help you out, to find out who Reggie is, and then who this other person is, and help you work things out for yourself.
She nods.
A nod's not going to do it. I need to hear the words from your mouth.
I wouldn't tell anybody, and even if I did, I don't know anybody well enough to tell them. So I won't tell anybody.
Dash will actually reconsider his actions and simply say, alright, you need help, call out the lily. And if the lily thinks she needs my help, she'll call him out to me. You're not saying the right kind of things to me at the moment to make me trust you.
To be fair, I don't necessarily trust you yet.
Fair enough. We'll work in that relationship. In any case, you're safe with her. Is that fair enough?
She just nods again.
Lily is actually turning around, just looking at Josh with a look in her on her face, like, seriously? Gotta be kidding.
I hope I'm not imposing on you, Lily.
It's interesting that you think that anyone is safe with me.
Well, Lily, all I can say is from what I saw the last few times in New Jersey, you're probably one of our best hitters and probably our biggest shield.
It's not that I'm gonna let her out of my sight anyway, but that's for different reasons.
Alright, fair enough. Reggie, have we been told about the city at all?
She shakes her head.
Okay. Don't go to Central Park.
Why?
Wolves.
Wolves.
Yes. Central Park is a very, very dark forest. And that dark forest is patrolled and hunted by giant wolves. Make sense?
She just shakes her head. She looks at you like you're speaking Farsi.
Alright. Just know that the people in Central Park and the people in the Bronx, which is us, we have an arrangement. We don't go into their territory, Central Park. They don't go into our territory, the Bronx. We've been able to keep a relatively stable relationship for quite a number of months, and we sort of wish to keep that arrangement. The problem is that we've drawn certain lines. Should one of us walk into the park, that person is taking their own life in their hands.
Okay.
Understand?
She just nods well enough to get the point across that she's not going to go there, but she's kind of rubbing the side of her head like it's a lot to take in. Like, these people could be crazy.
Oh yeah. Alright. There are a lot of other groups and factions and societies within the city. If you stay close to Lily, she'll probably direct you to different places. I have a few friends in the city that I truly can trust. One of them goes by the name Mr. Silas. Mr. Silas runs a penthouse bar within Manhattan Island. Should you find yourself in Manhattan, and should you find no way of getting back to the Bronx, you can run there. That is a safe place. You tell them that Josh Rain sent you.
I was planning to introduce her there anyway.
Know that when you meet this individual, Mr. Silas, he has a good soul. It's just his appearance doesn't reflect his soul. He has a history. The only thing I can say is that the scars in his face aren't going to heal anytime soon. And don't be afraid of them.
Alright.
Now, have you been introduced to anybody else within our little group here, within the Bronx?
Marcus, and she looks at Lily. Rev, and two others. I can't remember their names.
Okay. To give you a sort of rundown, Marcus is very, very full of himself. He thinks he is quite a leader amongst men. Now, to be fair,
She'll
he does have
kind of nod in agreement with that one.
Yep. He does have a certain pull with his own people, but it doesn't really endear him to the rest of the Bronx inhabitants. You know Lily. Lily's one of my good friends.
At that,
He
Lily
says-
definitely raises an eyebrow.
He says, not explaining any further. The Reverend, Sergeant Thomas Grace. That is a particularly scary individual simply because of his prowess. He is a war veteran. He's quite capable at what he does. He is currently going through some rough patches. He's still trying to come to terms with his own past with the war. We have Artemio. Artemio is actually quite a nice guy, quite personable. He's a people person. He can calm you down. He can bring you to any sort of comfortable. He actually talks about love, love, love all the time. He's a psychiatrist by trade. Very much into the unconditional love therapy.
Sounds slightly creepy.
You say that, but he's a rather nice guy. I like him. I think he's a good addition to our group. He's at least able to temper Marcus.
So am I, that's not the point.
I know. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There's also another person that doesn't really make his face known around these parts too often, but is a brother to me. He is Vince Cognetti. He runs a coffee shop within the other boroughs of New York. Queens, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly. He runs a coffee shop known as Black as Sin. If you find yourself in trouble in that particular borough, run there, say you've been sent by Josh Rain. and you need help, and that door will open.
Who's Victoria?
Victoria? Whew, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Where'd you pick that up?
When I woke up, I heard her voice. I didn't know how I knew the name. I just did.
Victoria Croft?
I guess.
Victoria Croft. Okay, right. She is from another faction within the city that makes their residence in Chelsea, New York University. She comes from the enlightened people, the wise men. They have a certain prejudice against us. Victoria is one of the more tolerant ones. I'll admit I've talked to her for a few different occasions, and she seems hospitable enough. If you find yourself within Chelsea, within university campus, go ahead and call her name out. She will find you before you find her.
I hear her voice in my head sometimes.
You hear her voice. You hear her voice. Oh, crap. Josh's actually thinking about the only reason that would actually be, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. That's not good. That's really, really not awesome. Josh just sort of buries his hands in his face. Oh, crap. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. He goes ahead and, raises his hand back up to Reggie and say, okay, that's not a problem. That's just something we're going to have to resolve as quickly as possible, because I did not know about this. And if I think it is what it is, it's not good at all. At least not for her. She shouldn't have done that. If she did that, she'll be ostracized by her people. Oh, fuck.
It's her problem, not ours.
Victoria is a very, very good friend of ours within the Wise Men. Master Edwin may be capable and all, but Victoria was more amenable to our situation.
I don't care about any of the wise men, as you like to call them. If they did something with her, and she just looks at Reggie, she wants to start a new life and let all of that behind, I'm gonna take care of that. If that means that this Victoria will no longer be around, then so be it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves quite yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? See if we can make an arrangement to go ahead and talk to this Victoria and ask her why this is, and ask her if she made a deal with somebody.
Reggie's kind of inadvertently rubbing on one of the other, not the pentagram, but the other pendant. Subconsciously thumbing it.
Yeah. Josh will actually do a quick perception awareness check. What is this thing? He wonders quietly to himself. 1, 2, 3. So with 3 successes, well, it's not the pendant. It's not active at the moment, but it seems to have a thread running through it.
It's actually always active.
Okay, so that's a very, very strong thread.
Yep, and it definitely seems to be linked to Reggie, that's for sure. Not the same way that the pentagram is, but it definitely has an affinity for her, because it matches her resonance perfectly.
Of course, of course. Jess is actually looking at the 2 pendants as Reggie is currently wearing, and simply say to her, I'm very sorry, but do you mind if I look at that one? He says, pointing to one of the pendants.
She looks down at it and realizes that she's been kind of thumbing it, and then looks up to him. And it's very instinctual at this point that she actually kind of turns her body halfway away from him. And she doesn't really respond. She just kind of actually backpedals a few steps towards Lily, who has proven herself to be an ardent defender.
Hmm?
Lily is, well, she was still standing by the window, and she now sees Regina backing away towards her. She's also been following that conversation, and she actually doesn't quite know what to do, but she will walk closer to Regina and just stands beside her, not saying anything, but just looking at Josh.
Josh is still sitting on the couch. He just goes ahead and then extends his hand out, saying, That pendant has a very, very strong link between Regine and someplace else. I just need to verify where it goes to. If I can do that, well, then we won't have a problem.
And what if we do have a problem?
Well, if we do have a problem, it's better to know now before it goes ahead and increases in severity.
Fine. She just looks at Regina and she says, if you really don't want to give that pendant up for a few seconds, then we'll do this later or differently or whatever, but apparently, Josh, is there nothing is gonna happen to that pendant, right?
No. I will simply hold it for a few seconds, and I'll simply hand it back. That's all. That's all I'm gonna do.
She can keep it. You can promise that, no matter what.
I don't want to take the pendant away from her. I just need to hold it for a few seconds.
And then Lily's just gonna look at Regina and she raises her shoulders and says, well, it's your choice.
Said I don't trust him.
You also said you didn't trust me.
She just kind of looks at Lily very oddly for a moment, and then just steps away from Lily and I don't know why this thing's, but it is precious to me, and I don't want you to touch it.
And Josh, no, you cannot have it.
Fine
And
enough.
with that, especially because Regina now literally stepped away from Lily, you just see Lily, slight change in Lily's face. She just turns around, back to the window, and she's just jumping out of it.
Ooh. Oh God. Josh is actually going to go ahead and rush towards the window where apparently the Hell Kitty is rushing quite a bit a ways, and he simply stares out and says, Oh, crap. I always do that. Fuck. He's holding his temples. He's not going to make any effort to go ahead and try to chase Lily down that way. Not willing to leave Regine alone by herself. Ah, crap. I'm going to have to fix that. He just slowly turns to Regine. She does that sometimes. I can't control her.
Doesn't seem like anybody can.
Nope. I must have been with her for about 6 months at least, and even I can't control her.
I'm. I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
Go for a walk. You want company?
No, I think she can find me if she needs to, and I know how to call out to her if something goes wrong.
Fair enough. Are you planning to keep the cards?
No, and she sets them down on the table. I'm. I need to figure a few things out.
And I can't help you with that, can I?
I don't think anybody could at this point. This is a lot to take in, all of this. Last night I started glowing and I fixed somebody's shoulder, and it's just really odd right now.
Yes, I can understand. Things are always really odd when people come to me.
And if Lily's not going to be here, I don't want to stay here alone, but I don't want anybody else here.
I can wait. I can wait for her to come back. You can go ahead and take a walk. Just know that at one point or another, you're going to see me again.
I kind of figured I don't have really a choice in the matter.
I know, and I'm so very, very sorry about that. I really
Reggie
wish
walks,
nobody... Go ahead.
Reggie walks to the desk and picks up the very worn backpack and lifts it up as she slits it over her shoulders.
Josh will simply say when she picks up her righty-ass backpack, "Yep, go. Go. You're a traveler. What you do, just know you're going to have to come back to me. Everybody always does. It's never a good sign."
I don't plan on leaving the city. I plan to be back before tonight's over.
Alright.
But I feel like there's something in the city that I need to do, and I don't know why.
Chelsea?
She just nods.
Okay. Do me a favor. When you go to Chelsea, make it fairly obvious that you're looking for Victoria Croft. Call out to her using some kind of listed number, what have you. She will probably find you way before you find her, but I think that meeting takes place as soon as possible.
She just nods and then makes her way to the door and doesn't really turn back as she steps out of it and closes it very gently.
Josh, for his part, is just simply going to whisper into the darkness. He knows for a fact that the shade that he's currently whispering to will not be able to actually follow her all the way, but it will follow her at least some of the way. He whispers to the shade, sends it off, and spends the next however long sitting within the dormitory because this is where he needs to be at the moment. And he watches all the little shades go ahead and play out all the different memories that Josh has of Locke. First time he met her, the first time they came to her crying because of the Earthbound, the terror that was there, the first time they came back with Marcus, who had done something very. It was the very first night. It was a very rocky first night, and guns were involved. So there you go. But he sort of just let it all past him.
And I think we can end